Hey there, welcome to Health a Second Opinion. Dr. Chad, just excited to be here again talking about some things that make real sense to the real situation that we are dealing with today, which is not only the typical things that people think of as the pandemic or the epidemic or the wherever you want to, however you want to qualify things, whether you're thinking locally or internationally. And, when we think about how things are impacting our health, one of the things that is not being talked about enough is that self-awareness also saves lives, and that the more that you know about your internal health, and then the better off you are, because then you can be in charge of managing the changes that it takes to become healthier. And so the state of the health of the host always determines the outcomes that a person is experiencing a health challenge. And since this is Health a Second Opinion, we want to stay focused on empowering you to make changes within your own habits to improve the health of you. If there is a problem that you encounter here in this pandemic, then for you personally or your family, then you will have been doing what was within your power to really take charge of your own health. And so one of the biggest things that we need to look at is that some of the big indicators of people's outcomes with COVID-19 is their health status in relationship to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease, and other lung diseases. And so those people who have those current comorbidities are at a greater risk of hospitalization, and therefore at a greater risk of death, and are having severe problems. And so let's stay focused on the causes of those and what we can do within Max Living and chiropractic, and how that applies to helping you save your own life. And again, information is key to this situation. And so when we look at this, one of the big things to be aware of is that since 2017, we have progressed to 42.4% of the United States is considered to be obese. So 42.4% of US adults, and of course this is the category as we age that are seeing worse and worse outcomes with COVID-19. So when we look at that 42.4% are considered to be obese, well, that's one of the greatest risk factors. And unfortunately, among the OECD countries, which this Organization of Economic Development, that is a huge group of countries from around the world, the United States is the most obese. And so when we look at that, that's a huge thing. So one of the big things is pause there and take a look at the lifestyle and how Max Living really helps reverse that. And that is that when you're looking at a person as a whole and you're not just treating symptoms, then you're trying to help that person with the 5 essentials. And the 5 essentials are the mindset that matters. Then we're looking at the nervous system, your exercise, your nutrition, and the body's toxic load, and how well is your body detoxifying. So in looking at the fact that obesity is a lifestyle created issue, then the replacement of a lifestyle with the 5 essentials then allows a person to, again, take control of their own outcomes. Love Positive Stories talked about it a couple of videos ago with Alan. Alan is one of our great superstars, empowering the 5 essentials in his life, to the point that just highlights here that he's now no longer diabetic. He's reversed his diabetes, is off all his meds, and that we're including, metformin and Trulicity and these things. He was given a diagnosis of having stage 4 liver failure. And so then he has since lost 60 pounds, and he has made lifestyle changes with exercise and nutrition, and his mindset that he knew that his body was created to heal. And by implementing these 5 essentials, he has now gone back to the MD, and they're saying, wow, your liver, the swelling shrinking, your liver enzymes are normal. And now moving forward, we expect here in a year or 2 more, because we're now getting towards the year of time that he's been in, with the awareness of the fact that the human liver regenerates in about 3 years. So him empowered with that knowledge and the lifestyle, the application of it, he has reversed liver disease. And to me, that's enormous, because even the MD that's managing his situation and his health care with that is saying, at your age, I've never seen this before. And that is the problem. It's the problem internationally. The same with COVID-19, that the focus is not on reversing obesity or reversing diabetes or reversing heart disease and the lifestyles that would allow a person to have that possibility. It's not going to be possible in everybody because of time. Any problem that's been there too long for the body to recover from, they've reached a threshold of a point of no return. And then maybe it is just management thereof. But the lifestyle that would possibly allow someone to reverse a condition would then slow the progression of it if it has reached that point of limitation of matter. So when we think about the mindset that has to come before the events can happen to reverse obesity, reverse diabetes, reverse heart disease, whatever it is, you plug in your own, issues, then that mindset is key. And one of the biggest things, when looking again at this American adults with excessive weight, again, this is all, and you can zoom in and take a look at these things. Often this is bigger on the screen that you're seeing it at home. But if you want these, by the way, you can text your questions to my cell phone number here. You can text me any questions. This is all coming off the CDC's website. So having obesity increases the risk of severe illness from COVID-19. People who are overweight may have an increased risk. Obesity triples the risk of hospitalization due to COVID-19 infection. So let's go there with what helps people reverse obesity. Well, number one, it's not that you have a problem with your glands, except for the salivary glands. We have to start with that kind of in-your-face, honest self-reflection. And that's why this self-awareness saves lives. Because, and I'll give you my own example. Last year in 2020, I was very self-aware of the fact that I was overweight. And so I needed to lose 20 pounds. So that was my goal, to empower my body to have a better functioning immune system and to have a better or less severe outcomes should I come in contact with. And yeah, so it did happen. And I did come down with COVID-19 and was able to, and I'm sure responded much more favorably, including my whole household went through it, and a 3-month-old nursing baby. And all of the kids were less than a day of any kind of symptoms. And then myself and my wife would be considered to be, low on the severity, and have reached resolution. And so now I'm imparted with some level of immunity that's going to be robust and well-rounded because of the natural way the immune system works. And so that was my own way of trying to motivate that and create implementation to model that behavior, because the mindset that your doctor encounters you with matters to what you perceive possible and how they're guiding you down that path towards whatever your agreed upon goals are. And that's key. What are the goals? Are you managing obesity? Are you managing diabetes? Are you trying to reverse it? Are we focused on what we can control, or are we focused on what's out of our control? And so, again, self-awareness. So what conditions increase the risk of developing dangerous symptoms of COVID-19? The risk of developing dangerous symptoms may be increased in people who are older, also in people of any age who have other serious health problems such as heart or lung conditions, weakened immune systems, severe obesity, or diabetes. So the wonderful thing about Max Living and our 5 essentials is first, we're dealing with the mindset right now, empowering you with knowledge, and just being bold enough to say the problem is the problem, and let's address that. And every day that we have healthier lifestyle, our immune system will also respond. You know, I remember this in a conversation that I had with Dr. Graham, local optometrist, and he was saying that literally a person would come in and they would have their set of glasses don't work, they're brand new, and they're complaining that he got the prescription wrong. And then he looks on their chart and he sees diabetes. And he says, well, how have you been doing with your blood sugar lately? And the most common response was, I haven't been taking it. And he says, well, what have you been eating? And they go through it and he's like, oh, well, your diabetes is most likely out of control. And that can change your vision in 30 days, at least 1, if not 2 steps of power. And I just purple smoke, thought to myself, whoa, the lens and how the vision and how your eye is literally functioning is changed within 30 days from your level of blood sugar. If the lens of your eye, which we seem to think of as being very inert and changing over time, and vision slowly progresses to you end up like me, an older guy who's wearing bifocals. But if it can be changed in 30 days by blood sugar, what else is changing in 30 days or less? And so let's think about our immune system that has to respond upon immediately, right? To any infection or cut or wound or anything, and usually has resolution of something within a couple of weeks. So it has to respond really, really, really fast. And so it will be impacted by that. This is just logic, common sense, deductive reasoning of a way of looking at solving your problem. And so number 1 is the integration between your mindset and the rest of the body is the central nervous system. So a self-awareness evaluation of how that's functioning, how your spine is functioning, is a key integral piece, key and integral to how the body is functioning and how it is self-regulating on the inside. The worse out of alignment, the more damage, the more degeneration of the spine, the degradation or the degeneration of the connection that spine is protecting, which is the spinal cord and the nerves, controlling the function of every organ in your body, that is also being affected by that posture and by subluxation, misalignments of the spine causing nerve interference. It's no key that when I look at this, the power of an adjustment and subluxation, there's the word for you. When we look at this is a big deal with the breakdown of communication. And this is a great chart showing how that happens and what parts of the brain get affected. But then when we look over here, these are the organs and where those nerves are coming out. And so when I look at someone's spine and any other Max Living chiropractor, we're not looking just for, just what's causing the pain. We're looking to see where things are subluxated and how we can help them restore that back so that the internal connection can get back to 100%, because your brain, your innate intelligence is constantly aware of what it needs to change to help you survive best, to help you thrive instead of just survive. And so under these heightened circumstances, that's implementation number 2. Mindset, then it's, are you aware of what your current spine status is? And so if you need to get in contact with us because you don't know, or you're not actively seeking care, there you go. You can call or text that you want a new patient appointment. We'll reach back out to you, and or we'll find you a person in your area. You know, when we think about dealing with the major comorbidities, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, the lifestyle that creates each one of those is the same usually. And it's just that that person's body is showing signs that are measurable to us through our current science, that can measure the level internally of their loss of health, optimal physical, mental, and social well-being, not the absence of disease or symptoms. And so when we look at the optimum function, then we have to look at that's their body's presentations where they're having the biggest breakdown in health. And we can diagnose that, but it's the same thing. So inside of everyone's lifestyle is nutrition, exercise, their toxicity, how their nervous systems function, and what's their mindset that's controlling their behaviors, and their limiting beliefs. And so when we think about the beliefs that limit, it's that I can't lose weight, or it's my thyroid, or it's this, or it's that. And all those are being affected positively or negatively by the other choices that you're making. So it's really key to say, I am at a point where I'm going to do what I can now. And each person nutritionally can usually change. I know I'm not perfect. I don't have perfect nutrition. I don't have perfect anything. But I'm constantly critiquing and measuring it. And so every person can eat more whole fruits and vegetables, less processed food, less fast food. You know your major weakness. Let's be serious. Come on. I love I was asking my coach, Mark, one time, I was like, hey man, should I go to this level? I think it was a level 2 seminar or something, and on adjusting. And he was like, well, why are you going? And I said, well, I want to make some changes in the office. And he said, well, have you made the changes that you already know you need to make? Because you're going to go learn something new, and then you're going to try to make those changes before you make the changes that you already know. Right? So many of us, like, we want the quick fix, like it's a fast food society. So instead of changing our nutrition, we'll add a supplement, or we'll add an oil, or we'll do something different besides change the beast in the room, which is our behavior and our habits. And I mean, I fall into that category too sometimes. And then my self-awareness wakes me up and says, hey, this is what you need to aim at, just like 2020, and I lost 20 pounds. And so, and here's the other key, kept it off. So, because I changed my habits. What do I do? A lot of people ask me that. Well, nutritionally, I try to eat more of my nutrition as whole fruits and vegetables. I eat a lot of beans, a lot of legumes, eat a lot of salads. And most importantly, which I'll touch on, I do intermittent fasting 3 days a week, where I don't eat breakfast, and I usually won't eat until 1 or 2, like this recording is going on at the end of that fasting state. And so that allows me to create a ketotic state in my body and be burning fat for fuel. And so those things, I want to add this in because I had incorporated that with another patient, and she was, whoa, I wasn't aware how I come off of my fast affects my blood sugar for the rest of the day. Well, yes, your first meal of the day, it's not breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's break fast is the most important meal of the day. And just changing that mindset concept to saying, well, whether I was not eating for 6 hours or 8 hours or however long you got to sleep, or whenever you quit eating the day before. So if I quit eating at 8 p.m., at 8 a.m., I'm 12 hours into a fast. And then now, then if I can go on until 2, now it's 16 window. And that's what I try to aim for, is that 16-hour window of fasting. But what you break the fast with, the content of nutrition determines your blood sugar spike that will then determine how deep the valley is and how your insulin will affect the other hormones like cortisol, leptin, and ghrelin, and all these things that then affect how you eat in your metabolic state, how your brain functions for the rest of the day. And so breaking the fast should be key with things that are higher in protein, higher in healthy fats, and then your carbs are coming from whole foods, low glycemic index fruits and vegetables, so that you don't have a huge carb load, which then surges insulin, which then creates this cascade. And this applies down the line to obesity, to diabetes, and heart disease, because we know that diabetics are usually also obese, at least type 2, and that then the same lifestyle and those high blood sugars diabetics have the worst rate of cardiovascular disease. So when we look at all these things deductively, we can say that that's one aspect and some things that I can do. So those are the generalities, and there's kind of some step forwards for people who are a little further along the line. What about exercise? One of the things that I'm doing now, and I have done since 2015, is with exercise, you've got to create your own benchmarks. Your self-awareness will save your life. How much and how physically fit are you? I do a workout every year on my birthday, just like I try to get yearly checkups with my blood work and yearly checkups with my endocrine hormones and yearly, all these things. So with that yearly checkup, I have a yearly workout. I'll give you mine, you build yours. Every year I time myself in the mile. And then I have at max a 5-minute and so I'm going all out to see how fast I can run the mile. And then I get a 5-minute wait. Then the following exercises are done with a 1-minute wait between each. And so I'll usually do in the order of push-ups in a minute, timed, burpees, or I should say pull-ups in a minute, then jumping jacks in a minute, sit-ups in a minute, then jump ropes in a minute. Then I'll look at going back, because burpees require upper body so much, the same as the push-ups. So I've given myself a 4 or 5 minute wait to go in to see how many burpees I can do in a minute. And all of this is then timed and logged with my weight, which gives me my heights staying relatively consistent. So then that gives me my BMI. I put in all those factors and create my chart, and I've been doing it since 2015. I'm thankful to be able to report that my mile time is slower than it was in 2015, but better than it was in 2019. I had to skip 2020 because I had that shoulder reconstruction. And so I didn't get to do my benchmark workout last year. So I'm having to compare myself to 2019. And then all of my other numbers were either equal to or better than in all of those categories, even after shoulder surgery, than I was in 2019. So what I'm saying is that's my measuring stick for physical fitness. What's yours? Build your own. If you're not measuring it, you're not aware of it, you can't change it. Exercise, best way to deal with influencing cortisol, the stress hormone, which has its levels can either positively or negatively affect insulin and all the other endocrine hormones. So is to deal with things. I love Max T3. Go to maxt3.com, download it, and then you've got a lot of workouts that are in that like 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off sequence for 12 minutes. They're really short, high intensity interval training, whole body motions that then take you through these. And then there's 1 minute on, 1 minute off. There's different styles in there, and there's beginner, intermediate, advanced, and that's what I do along with I do that exercise 4 or 5 days a week. I then add on to it a mile run 2 days a week. And then on the weekends, it's a lot of cycling and playing with the kids. And that's how I get those thresholds up to where I'm getting into that 6 days a week of at least 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise. But then the fact is that when you're doing the high intensity interval training, you're burning as much or more calories in this 12-minute workout, but the surges of activity is what creates that survival mechanism inside of the body. The getting to 90% output and coming back down creates an effect inside that lowers cortisol levels, our stress hormones. And come on, if 2020 and 2021 hadn't been stressful, then I'm thankful. Please tell me where you live and I'll come there too. And I'll bring food and my chiropractic table and whatever else you request. And so, but the fact is it's been stressful. So we need better stress relief, what is one of the greatest stress relievers? Exercise. Outside where the incidence of infection are low. Heck yeah. Get out there, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D. Sweat profusely to help your body detoxify, which is another part of the 5 essentials. Third largest detoxifier in the human body is the skin. So, man, if you're not sweating profusely every day, you're missing one of your greatest ways to help detoxify. The other ways to detoxify are to minimize the toxins coming in. You know, so many people, it's been hot lately. And so many people are using these electrolyte drinks that are high in high fructose corn syrup, which is a toxin, which increases your blood sugar, which gets stored as fat, and it has a negative impact on your body completely across the board. It's just that the elite athletes maybe are burning more calories in a day, and it's not showing up on their impact as well. So the fact is there are cleaner ways, designs for health. Go onto our website, choosehealthchiropractic.com. So that's choosehealthchiropractic.com or maxliving.com. Look up Electrolyte Synergy. It's through Designs for Health. And that's a great, clean way of getting some good electrolytes. I'm trying to bring you some more options also in thinking about electrolytes without the high fructose corn syrup and all the toxins. Let's see here. What's my time? Ooh, we're at 27 minutes, folks. I got to cut this off. I hope that the mindset will influence your decisions, and that number one, remember, mindset, connection, brain, body, that's where you get that here by being a patient in the office at Chiropractic Care here in Trenton or another Max Living office around the country. Then it's about implementation of the better nutrition, the better exercise, and your increased detoxification, which reduces the load of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease on your body, which increases your body's ability to respond and lower the possibility of severe complications from the pandemic. Look forward to seeing you back here on Health Second Opinion.